little luck of the Irish with trainer Leo O'Brien on this edition of Insider. And why is Leo here? The unveiling of the new 4-Star Dave Lower Carousel Sports Bar at Saratoga Racecourse. The Friday morning festivities, we were off and running, and you got to pull the new sign down, Mig. Looked pretty good.
Yeah, it was there with Chris Kay, Leo O'Brien, and really kind of liked it. And I think it's so nice that people still remember and want to honor 4-Star Dave, the Sultan of Saratoga.
Saratoga legend, 8 years winning in Saratoga. It's unbelievable.
Could you imagine a horse even running up here 8 years in a row, let alone winning up here 8 years in a row? And people loved him. He would stop. Every time he heard a camera click, he would stop, pose for them. He was just as cool a racehorse as I've ever been around.
He loved that stall. That was the story at Leo O'Brien's Saratoga barn with the window. He could sit and graze and look out the back. Good stuff, and horse will never forget, part of the lore here at Saratoga Racecourse. Welcome aboard. In the meantime, it's Jason Blewitt, Richard Migliore. Another weekend is upon us, Mig. Just about at the halfway point. Day number 19 of 40. The meet, in fact, turning 3 weeks old today. It's hard to believe.
It seems like it's going by so fast already. And I mean, we're kind of like hamsters on a wheel here. We hit the track, we never stop. But it'd be nice to just be able to set back and maybe take it all in a little bit, smell the roses, so to speak.
It is bittersweet that half the meet is gone, but on the bright side, we still have 21 days of racing left, and of course, we look forward to that August 29th Travers Day program. We hope we have the Triple Crown champion American Pharoah in attendance. We know we will have last year's King's Bishop winner, that is the Big Beast, who breezed today for trainer Tony Duccio at the Spa. He worked actually 5/8 in a minute and 3, and he's got his sights set on the Priority 1 Jets. Forgo.
Well, you know, the Big Beast ran so big in the prep race here, the Vanderbilt for the Forgo. Although the Vanderbilts are grade 1 too, right? So maybe it's not a prep, it's just a great race in its own right. And he was beaten in a heartbreaker that day. I think the 7/8 of the Forgo suits him a little better. I like the Big Beast with the 1/8 of a mile more. Get those big legs stretched out. And Johnny Velasquez did drop the whip in the Vanderbilt, and I don't know that it would have made a difference. He looked like he was running hard to me, but I'm sure in Johnny's mind he would have liked to have had it.
And just one horse has pulled off that King's Bishop Forgo double. Pomeroy did it in 04 and came back for Marty Wolfson and won the Forgo back in 2006. How about Frosted? He chased American Pharoah to no avail in front of 90,000. In the last leg of the Triple Crown, he's the gray with the white blinkers. He'll look to turn the tables on Texas Red and, we hope, American Pharoah. And he stretched his legs this morning for Kieran McLaughlin.
Yeah, just kind of a, like you said, a leg stretcher, not doing much, 51-2. I'm sure they're going to get a little more serious as we get closer to the Travers. His Jim Dandy was good, chasing a good colt in Texas Red. It's unfortunate for Frosted, as talented as he is, he's come into a crop of 3-year-olds with the likes of American Pharoah and Texas Red.
Does have a white-hot trainer on his side, though, Kieran McLaughlin, who saw some action with the Godolphin Royal Blue. Sentiro Italia, his star 3-year-old turf filly with No Lady Eli, who we're happy is progressing nicely downstate at Belmont. With her gone, though, and not in the picture, 5 went to the post in today's featured Lake Placid. We'll see what happened here on the turf at Saratoga Racecourse as we send it up to Larry Colmus.
Here's Mark, Lake Placid, and away to a good start. Miss Temple City and Consumer Credit came out running, and right behind them is Heath on the inside, and farther out it's Sentiero Italia, who's 4 deep past the stands for the first time. And Strict Compliance sits at the back of the field and races 6 lengths off the lead as they move for that first turn where Heath has taken charge. Heath is the leader, and 1 off the rail is Consumer Credit. Miss Temple City is 3rd to the outside. These 3 will take them around that first turn. Then it's Sentiero Italia, and trailing the field as they go to the backstretch is Strict Compliance, racing 4 lengths off the lead. And the leader is Heath. Heath by a half a length. And right alongside is Consumer Credit. Miss Temple City is 3rd to the outside of them. Sentiero Italia sits 4th up the backstretch, 2.5 lengths off the lead, and leading only Strict Compliance and Javier Castellano, who are at the back of the 5 as they continue their way up the backstretch. So Heath and Jose Lezcano continue to make the pace. Rod Ortiz Jr. keeps Consumer Credit right alongside in 2nd, and John Velasquez and Miss Temple City are 3rd just to the outside, and these 3 will take them into the far turn all right together. Sentiero Italia just behind them. And last of them all is Strict Compliance, who's being ridden to go as the field makes their way around the far turn. It is Heath on the inside, Consumer Credit. Miss Temple City to the outside of them. Sentiero Italia comes 4 wide, and right behind them, Strict Compliance trying to get into the race. A final furlong. Miss Temple City's taking the lead. Sentiero Italia runs with her. Up into third is Strict Compliance. It is Miss Temple City and Sentiero Italia, and Sentiero Italia goes on to win over Miss Temple City. And then came Strict.
Two good fillies put on quite the show. We had the runner-up, Miss Temple City, and her first start in the States since running a narrow 4th over at Ascot in June. And how about the effort out of Sentiero Italia? Perfect ride beneath Joel Rosario.
Yeah, perfect ride. When you see 3 in front and you're drafting, you're getting the trip. She had a lot of run on her mind, though. And like you said, Kieran McLaughlin, white hot.
Went 5 for 8 last week, won the Longines test with cavorting. He has got Frosted pointing to the Midsummer Derby 15 days from now. And he's got a good one here, Medalliadora filly named Sentiero Italia. Here's Kieran with the MIG.
Kieran, I know I'm Italian. I'm supposed to be able to say this properly. I'm going to say Sentiero Italia. Boy, she ran big. You had to be happy with that.
Yeah, she's a very nice filly. Joelle rode her great. She really has a finishing kick, and it was a great trip she had with 5 fillies only. You worry sometimes about the pace, but everything went great.
I mean, it looked like she had a kind of a difficult trip in the Belmont Oaks. I don't think it was a true run for her.
Yeah, she was very wide. She's the only one that ran further than Lady Eli, and she ran great, but she's deserving of a grade 2.
Your stable is just going so good. You got to be thrilled with the way this meet's going.
Yes, it's a great meet for us all, and it's great to work with such nice horses, and we have a great team.
And where do you think you might go next for this filly?
I'm not sure. We'll have to look ahead. So we've been pointing for this since our last race, so I'll have to look ahead.
Well, enjoy this one. Congratulations.
Thank you very much.
Final time over the firm turf, 149-1 for Sentiero Italia, who really has the afterburner. She was strong downstate at Belmont Park and strong again off the far turn today.
Yeah, and you go back and look at that Belmont Oaks, she was, just kind of hung out wide the whole way, never really got in a comfortable position. Turf racing's about wanting to get covered up and then producing a horse for a big kick. You don't want to spread that run out and be wide for a long time while you make an extended run. Horses just don't win that way on the turf.
They got the field in the paddock for the Lake Placid, I'd say 20 minutes on the clock. Did you hear that audible collective sigh of relief from the 5 entered when they looked around, including 2 from her own barn that didn't see Lady Eli?
Yeah, Lady Eli is just, a terror. She's far and away the best 3-year-old filly in the country on any surface as far as I'm concerned. And we're just happy to hear that Lady Eli is doing so well. I mean, in a perfect world, someday we'll see her back competing. But you know what? Even if we don't, she doesn't owe anybody anything. And we'll see little Lady Eli's as long as she's healthy.
All right, that sounds good. We'll see Kieran McLaughlin in action along with Joel Rosario. 8 for 21 at the meet, Kieran is. How about fillies and mares going long in race number 8 as we start Friday's Final Pick 3. Stay with us.
Opportunity for Pennsylvania breds. In an open maiden special, PA breds will run for over $100,000. So be there at Parks in the fall.
Hello, I'm Brian Sanfratello. Last year, we paid $33 million to PA breds.
The new Parks Fall Festival will double purses for each of its 32 live racing days. What an opportunity for Pennsylvania breds. In an open maiden special, PA breds will run for over $100,000. So be there at Parks in the fall.
Hello, I'm Brian Sanfratello. Last year, we paid $33 million to PA breds in the form of breeder awards, owner bonuses, and restricted race purses. Our Equine Coalition Group is united in the pursuit of making sure that we receive every dollar we deserve. And that's why our Racehorse Development Fund has been constant in the past 4 years. Please go to our website at www.pabred.com or give me a call at 610-444-1050.
Dark skies today at Saratoga Racecourse. Some light rain fell, I'd say 15 minutes to post, race number 10. Thankfully, we sidestepped and dodged any serious rain 5 miles away. I know they got hit pretty hard. But looking ahead, 15 days out, August 29th, Travers Day, general admission tickets sold out. It is easy to envision a capacity crowd of 50,000 watching, hopefully, a Triple Crown champion debut here at Saratoga for the first time since a firm back in 1978.
Well, you know, I'm hoping that he comes, and I want to see it. But even if he doesn't, what a great card of racing. We've got grade ones galore. And the way the races have been here this summer, you do not want to miss Travers Day.
And you don't want to miss the giveaway this coming Wednesday. We start Alabama week in style. 1 p.m. first post. And that red and white Saratoga umbrella. Sport your true spa colors year-round, and on days it rains, it'll come in handy.
Well, this meet so far, it's just been for sunshine, although I'm thinking we might need one to get to the cars tonight.
Yeah, please bring your umbrella, my friend. I don't want to get wet. Can't get this suit wet.
No, that's too nice a suit.
Thanks, man. All right, race number 8. As the flag blows and we get on with overcast skies in upstate New York, race number 8, Fillies and Mares. These are New York breds. We'll pick it up around the clubhouse turn in progress.
Swift Taylor, who's down toward the rail, and then a gap of another 4 lengths more back to Legally Bay, and on a snowy evening has been pulled up out of the race here. On a snowy evening, pulled up out of the race. So now the field makes their way to the backstretch. 23 4/5 seconds was the opening quarter mile, and it's Conquest Superstep on top by 2. Prize Taker running in second position. On the inside is Building Permit, third by another 2. Then it's Brandini and Swift Taylor, and a gap of another 10 lengths more back to Legally Bay, who's been outrun so far after a 48 flat half mile. Past the half mile pole in Conquest Superstep, and Sean Bridgemahan have a 2.5 length lead. Prize Taker is second and cutting into the gap as the field rounds the far turn. Building Permits in contention too, and these two bearing down on the front runner now. After that, it's Brandini and Swift Taylor. Legally Bay far behind as they come toward the top of the stretch. Conquest Superstep holding off the competition so far and edging away once again. 3/4 and 1, 12 and 1. They're into the stretch. Conquest Superstep comes down to the 8th pole, trying to hold on to this lead. Building Permits down on the inside. Then it's Prize Taker and Brandini on the far outside. But it is Conquest Superstep with something left in the tank, and Conquest Superstep's got it won. Conquest Superstep to win it by about 6 in the end, and then it was Building Permit second.
Mark Casse, Sean Bridgemahan lulled them to sleep on the front end with Conquest Superstep. They opened the doors, she broke on top, and that was pretty much race number 8.
Yeah, and Sean was aggressive from the outside. He didn't want to get caught wide into the turn. He used his filly enough to clear and then got an easy time of it on the lead. Conquest Superstep, her first start against New York breds on the dirt. She had one start on the turf, but Sean does really well for this outfit. And Conquest Stables, they name all their horse Conquest something or other. But I think Sean's been riding extremely well this meet with limited opportunities. And Mark Casse, good to see him get on track, get another winner.
Half a dozen wins for Sean and counting. He's done pretty well for those Kentucky outfits, Midwest outfits, and continued success. Saw him pretty pumped up crossing the wire with the big fist bump. What else happened on day number 19, aside from the fact that we watered the lawn? And look how lush and green the turf courses at Saratoga are. From 1 p.m. through the nightcap at a little after 6. Here's the Friday action at the Old Spa.
45 4/2 mile, and it is Ground Force on the rail. Rockford to the outside, and High Roller Dave trying to come and get them with a furlong to go. And from the back of the pack, Mr. Masterpiece is making up some late ground, but is running out of time. It is Ground Force and Rockford's in front. Rockford, Ground Force, Rockford by a neck. Ground Force second, High Roller Dave third, and then Mr. Masterpiece. Ray takes over. Anna Ray at the top of the stretch, now in front. Opening up the lead by a length and a half. Then it's Diane Can't Retire, Bottle Walk to the inside, followed by Hoosier Scout, but it's Anna Ray running away. Anna Ray by 6, 7 lengths as they come down to the line. And Anna Ray's all alone at the finish. Warriors Diva got up for second. And then it was Hoosier Scout and Diane by Jimmy Choo Girl is at the back of the pack as they come to the top of the stretch, and Queen of the Spa's in front. A 46 flat half mile. They're into the stretch. Queen of the Spa comes to the 8th pole. And here's Heaven's Touch trying to come and get her with 1 furlong to run. And In Haste is also charging down the center of the racetrack. And here comes In Haste and Cornelio Velasquez. And In Haste will pull away late to win it by about 2.5 in the end. It was tight for a second. Maybe Queen of the Spa in a photo with Heaven's Touch. This gets going on the far outside, and Scooby-Doo trails, and they're into the stretch, and it is Frisky Magician turning for home in front. Here's Wicked Freud on the far outside. 'Tis a Chance and Never Indicted. 1 furlong to go. Wicked Freud up to grab the lead from Frisky Magician, but 'Tis a Chance is coming. It is Wicked Freud, Frisky Magician, and 'Tis a Chance on the outside. Down to the line. Wicked Freud and Frisky Magician head bobbing on the wire. Then 'Tis a Chance outside to take the lead. JC Shooting Star to the front. Somersault comes through an opening on the inside. And these two come to the final furlong together. JC Shooting Star and Somersault. Somersault takes the lead. Somersault vaults to the front and pulls away. From JC Shooting Star and Bella Joy, it's Somersault to win it by 3.5 lengths. And then it was JC Shooting Star, Bella Joy. Then comes Frost Jordan and Best Play. And they're into the stretch, and it's Mr. Palmer. Mr. Palmer with a neck in front of Money in Your Pocket as they come to the 8th pole. Best Play is third on the far outside. Into the final furlong, Mr. Palmer. Money in Your Pocket won't go away. Money in Your Pocket's in front. Money in Your Pocket takes over late, and Money in Your Pocket wins at 1/2 length over Mr. Palmer. And then it was Best Play and Spring Court. Turning for home on the lead. Queen of Zenile is second. Off the rail, Chow Fun third, trying to make a race of it. Ramble is coming, and so too Swoop and Babes Ruler. They're coming into the final furlong, and it's Willow You and Queen of Zenile. These two clear from Chow Fun, Ramble, and Swoop, and it's Queen of Zenile to win it. And then it was Willow You, followed by Ramble and Swoop. Park turns for home in front. Kathy's Humor on the outside is second. Barrel of Dreams, Esther the Queen trying to squeeze through on the inside. Sauvignon's picking up her stride. Coming on the far outside. Congress Park to catch. Kathy's Humor. Sauvignon on the far outside. Congress Park, Kathy's Humor, and Sauvignon. Congress Park, Kathy's Humor. Heads apart of the wire. Too close to call. Then Sauvignon.
Huge non-carryover Pick 6 Friday pool, 81,000 plus if you had all 6 winners. Did you have all 6?
Not me. I didn't even play. I mean, I was waiting for you. I thought we were putting a ticket together, but you know we didn't get it in.
I was going to say, give me 10 or 20%, man.
You know, $83,000. So you come to the races, you have a great time, you eat some good food, and you have a life-changing score. You walk away with, you know, basically a year's salary. Come on.
Incredible.
What better game in the world than thoroughbred racing?
It is the greatest game outdoors. 83 G's, no carryover into 4-Star Dave Day, which we'll preview just a few moments here on Insider. We're certainly happy Javier Castellano, no worse for the wear. A scary incident regarding race number 7 as we take out Cappy, his binocs, and take the Friday second look. Number 7, Race and Shine. She'll break through the doors, and there goes Javier.
She charged the doors. Javier fell very heavily. Now, you know the horse is coming, and the assistant started did an amazing job holding that horse up enough for Javier to get out of the way, and he's got the air knocked out of him. He hit the ground really hard, so he knew he had to get out of the way. But kudos to the assistant starter, and you know what? It's so easy to criticize riders. You know it is. We've got a vested stake. You're wagering on them. You feel like you have some ownership. But it's such a hard job. It's such a difficult job, and we have so much talent here in New York that you got to appreciate these guys as athletes. And he jumps back and he rides the next race. I mean, they're tough, and they got to do it every day. So we got to back up once in a while and appreciate for them for the athletes they are.
And Javier had a win on the turf earlier today aboard Somersault for Mark Hennig, and that was in a capsule, the way you want to ride a turf horse. I was thinking, man, that ride shows why he's won the last 2 Eclipse Awards as the nation's champion jockey and leads in all relevant categories. The exception being current leading rider, in which Irad Ortiz, who won a race today, has 29. But Javier and Johnny V are right there.
I mean, Irad's the young gun. He's riding great. You see the youthful exuberance. He's going to be in Arlington Saturday, riding the Arlington Million card. Those guys, the old wily veterans, Johnny and Javier, have a chance to close the gap a little.
Right, a busy day in Chicago for Arlington Million Day for Chad Brown, who's got 3 in the million. Todd Pletcher will run 2 in our featured Grade 2 4-star Dave. We'll talk about that in a few moments as we transition to claims and we break it down. Wheeling and dealing early on, my friend, in 3 big shakes from races, all from races 3.
Yeah, and interesting, you know, they get the winner and the second place finisher out of race 1. They got the winner out of another couple races. These guys are sharp. I'm just taken so much with how much claiming's going on here. It speaks to 2 things. Just how people are running their horses in the right spots because they're attractive at those prices, and how much people want to load up to win here and beyond.
It's terrific seeing how enthusiastic people are jumping in every single day as we have that starting gate lined up. 2-year-old fillies will sprint in the Adirondack. We'll talk about it here on Insider. Plenty of ways to eat. Plethora of foods available at Saratoga Racecourse. All in a day's work regarding Friday afternoon at the Old Spa. We've got that trackside grill, and we have got cars. People filing out downtown Saratoga Springs on a Friday evening in the middle of August. And here's one of the greats, remembering the Chief, a pillar. I think you said it best last night, Meg, a pillar of thoroughbred racing, an icon. And we'll have his day here tomorrow. It should be a lot of fun.
Everything good about the game embodied Alan Jerkins. The way he looked after people, guys that couldn't get a job on the racetrack, just too old, he would give them a job holding horses in ice. He saw the value in everybody, and he tried to elevate, and he did succeed in elevating everybody around him.
And won the Adirondack, in which we'll run here tomorrow for 2-year-old fillies quite a few times. Had away with the ladies, no question about that. The fillies and mares and the Chief went hand in hand. Up first, Tanasa going out for Todd Pletcher, who's won the Adirondack 3 times, and she was all the rage first time out at Belmont.
Yeah, quite impressive, winning with a lot left in my estimation. She unfortunately had dumped Javier Castellano in her first start, was subsequently scratched after running around for a while, but boy, she was professional in her second start, and you got to think Todd Pletcher schooled her and has her ready for the Adirondack.
Less than a week after breaking all kinds of records and making all sorts of headlines, the Stallion Tappet, North America's leader, will get representation from Just Wicked.
Yeah, Just Wicked, interesting. Ran well first time out on the turf, came back, breaks her maiden on the dirt. Well, she is a Tappet. They seem to run over anything, maybe even broken glass, and she gets an advantageous outside post going 6.5 furlongs.
All right, she will complete that field of 7, in fact. We'll get the Adirondack out of the way early on and away. It'll go as race number 4. 1 p.m. will be that first race post, and a $500,000 guaranteed late pick 4 anchored, Mig, by the Grade 2 3 and up $500,000 4-star Dave, named for a Saratoga legend. Field of 9, and up first will be Mishawish, who went 3 for 3 over the winter down at Gulfstream.
You got to like this horse. You see him bottled up in behind horses here. Javier Castellano crying out for a seam. He threads the needle here. He gets through. He wins by a nose or thereabouts. I like this horse because he wins. I like horses that know where the wire is, and this horse seems to have a nose for the wire.
Ironicus, typical shug. He's 4-year-old. He's by distorted humor. He has gotten better and better with each subsequent race.
I think this horse has just hit a whole nother level, and I'm a huge fan, and I think this effort was just scintillating here. My problem with Ironicus tomorrow is it just doesn't appear to be a lot of pace in the race to set up his late kick. If he can overcome a slow pace, he's got the talent.
And you talk about that potential pace, and in a way, the 4-star Dave goes through the New York bred King Creasa, who brings it and hits pretty hard.
Boy, he's just in raging form. Dave Donk's got him so good. His last 2 races were I think his last race was possibly the best race of his career, and he showed a little bit of a different dimension coming from just off the pace.
He's been a gem of consistency for trainer David Donk. He's got bad feet, some hoof issues. David Donk's done an outstanding job, and let's catch up with him and the Mig.
Dave, King Crease maybe delivered a career best performance last time out at Belmont Park. In the 4-star Dave tomorrow, he looks like lone speed. Do you anticipate him getting an easy time on the lead?
Listen, I thought that last time. And you interviewed me before the poker and when it was a tough spot. And he got, a lone lead that day. And I thought last time in the Forbidden Apple with a couple of scratches that were the speed that he was going to be the lone speed. And then, Jose was pretty smart, plan B that we never discussed. And it probably was a career best race for him. I thought the race 2 years ago against Wise Dan might have been his best race till then. So, but listen, that's an option. He showed he can rate a little bit. And, I'm going to let Jose make that decision.
That's got to make you feel a little bit more comfortable and confident. If things change, he can call that audible.
Yeah, I think so. He has shown that he's rated a bit in the past, but I think until you see it again, you question that. And I think everybody looked at him that he was just strictly, lone speed. But, he's run really well here, and, he seems to hold his form. I think the biggest challenge for a trainer is when they run that well to keep him there, and he seems to be. So I'm just glad to be in it.
What do you think the key is to hold in that form and come back at his age and be as good, if not better than ever?
I just think he's a really good horse. And one of Woody's quotes, a good horse will overcome all trainers and riders' mistakes. So, he's just a happy horse. He looks really well, and just trying to keep him that way.
Best of luck tomorrow.
Thanks a lot.
All right, thanks very much, David Donk. Best of luck. King Crease are going to need his A game here tomorrow.
Yep, he will, but he's in good form, and he's a New York bred. It'd be fitting for him to win the 4-star Dave.
We've got a state bred and a Maryland bred coming up. Andy and Maggie with Saturday's plays.
Thanks a lot, guys. Well, it's certainly a tough Saturday card. A lot of opportunities, and I just don't think it's going to be a chalk fest here on Saturday. The third race, Maiden Claimers, going 6 furlongs, and these are 2-year-olds. I'm interested in the 6, the Great White Way, a horse that was badly interfered with and cut off at the start and literally taken out of the race and dropped completely out of the race. I think actually did a little bit of running after that and was in a tough field where Payne's Prairie, a stakes quality for Steve Asmussen, wanted a short price. The Great White Way takes that subtle drop, had that trouble, and I think perhaps we'll get the job done in the third race on Saturday as we head out to Maggie.
Thanks, Andy. Well, for the Saturday card, a lot of good races, the Adirondack and the 4-star Dave, but I'm going to stick with the good old New York breds, and it's race number 6 for the 2-year-old fillies. We're sprinting on the main track, going 6 furlongs, and a sibling of a filly who just took down our New York Stallion Series race. That's Freudy Ann. Her little sister is going to debut tomorrow. That's Frosty Ann, and I don't tend to do this with these horses that I haven't seen before, but I thought it was very encouraging that these connections, the same ones that own Freudy Ann, went in and snatched this girl up as a yearling and got away with pretty cheaply too, $18,000 as her purchase price. I love the fact that Freudy Ann also won first time out, albeit at Belmont, but still, there's that pedigree there to fire first time out. You're going to get a good price as well against some horses who have run, and as always, Todd Pletcher having a firster in there. So it's a 3/4 sister to Freudy Ann. That's Frosty Ann as your product insider tonight. Guys, back to you.
Little pedigree play for Maggie as we have good-looking gentlemen in the winner's circle. Kier McLaughlin, Joel Rosario. I see Jimmy Bell, and how about that Medaglia d'Oro filly, Sentiero Italia, the goods, in today's featured Lake Placid. We do it all again, a Saturday at the Spa, coming your way tomorrow here on MSG+.